Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully, everybody is having an awesome, awesome, awesome day. I am joined by my baby vegan knowledge today. She is going to share with us her journey on how and why she decided to become vegan. And I've been privileged to watch this journey. So, without further ado, we're going to bring her on. Jen, you there?
Yes, I am. How are
All
you?
right. I'm good. I'm good.
Thank
I'm
you for
so glad
having
that
me
you.
on this awesome party over here.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad you decided to come on. That works.
Hey, I wanted to join the party. What better to do on a party than talk about being vegan? Okay, maybe that's not
Hey.
everybody's definition of a party, but I love the diversity of this show. I never know what I'm going to hear. And I love the book readings, listenings that you've been doing, and I think it's awesome.
I like the way you changed readings to listenings.
I know, right?
So tell us, baby. I remember you going through a little bit of an issue where you had some stomach issues going on and how that kind of worried you. And I think I was drinking moringa at the time and I said you should start doing that. And I remember watching some videos on plant-based diets and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, what was that again?
Yeah, it was that, and then I had went in for some like dental work, and I remember they were like, "Well, we can't give you the full anesthesia or whatever because your blood pressure is a little high," and it just that combined with I had kind of always been interested in different diets and trying different things to be healthy. Like in high school, I was athletic, so but in high school and like right after, obviously you don't have to worry about your weight because your metabolism is still like through the roof and everything you can eat anything you want it seems like, and I would stay the same weight. But then I hit about let's see, in my 20s things didn't happen that way. I started going up and I had
Hmm.
gained more and more weight. So then I went on a diet where I lost a lot of weight. I just was eating like, honestly, it sounds weird as vegan, but I was not vegan for 42 years. So I was eating like soft pretzel as a snack and like turkey sandwiches and like dry cereal, like this low fat diet. And then I tried the carb diet. What is it? Atkins or whatever that is, where you
I
just eat
remember
like
the
these
Atkins diet. Yep.
high fat stuff. And so I had kind of, and then I went like, I had always been interested in eating vegetables, and for a lot of the time I would really kind of in a weird way eat more of the sides on my plate than the meat. But then there were times where I'd want to eat all meat, like it was just it depended on what I was trying to do at the time and what I was interested in. But I was always interested in trying to like lose weight and be healthier. So it was kind of like one day you were watching, it was a documentary I remember we were watching. It was called Raw Food Healing. And
Yeah.
I remember
Woody Harrelson
watching.
was on there, right?
Yes, like he's the one that stands out to me as the one that I remembered on there, and he mentioned something and said that it had given him a lot of energy to eat only like raw foods. And I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, that's really interesting." And then I started like kind of that I heard the people on that documentary talking about it, and I think now from like being in the this kind of plant-based world longer, a lot of people actually end up starting to look into plant-based diets and things because of something they hear or see, like a documentary. Like there's so many good ones, like What the Health is out there now. I hadn't seen any of these Game Changers.
Hmm.
There's so many like YouTube channels now, but then I hadn't even learned about any of it. And I started to think, well, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if I could do all veggies and raw foods. Like we had been around, hearing about the word vegan, but I didn't even know what it
Right.
was. I thought vegetarian and vegan were the same, or I didn't know anything about it. So I started like typing in Google search, like plant-based diet and vegan, and all of a sudden I started finding all this information, like these blogs of people who are like, I cured this, I reversed my high blood pressure, I reversed acne, I reversed asthma. Like I just and there was all these vegan like experts and doctors that were like actual medical doctors who had transitioned over. And
Mhm.
I started to really delve into, why is this happening? Why are people, why is this happening to people? I got really into the health aspect of it, and I started finding all this information about our bodies, the way that they're designed. They were not actually designed to, like, we're if you look at our system compared to that of a animal that eats all plants, and or they call it herbivore, so it eats fruits, nuts, seeds, and vegetables, and you can eat obviously grains and things as long as it's not meat and dairy. And I looked at it, and our digestive tract is actually set up more like those animals than animals who eat meat. And there's like a whole number of things that you can look into where they compare each of the systems, but just
Mhm.
in kind of a nutshell. Wait a minute, nuts are vegan, right? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can use a nutshell. In a nutshell, what I found out was, like, if you look at the intestines, for example, of how long they are in plant eaters, it gives the food or the nutrients, the vegetables and the fruits, time to like absorb everything from your system. And like um the a meat eater, it actually needs to be like quick. It needs to come in and get right out. It's so they have a shorter intestinal tract and digestive tract. There's also different like um alkaline that will actually break down the meat and things like that. So that's why a lot of the world, if you look and you go down the aisle at your store, you see Tums and Rolaids and all kinds of antacids, all kinds of Pepto, all kinds of heartburn relief. And you have a lot of things going on like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, like all these chronic diseases, up to and including cancers that are caused because this meat is sitting in the system for so long, and it's not like what our body needs, but like the way that it's presented to us is that we need this for protein, and
Right.
that we have to have it. But protein is in all the plants that you eat, and in so many different foods and nuts and different things, that it's amazing that people think it comes from actual meat. So I started finding out, wait a minute, these big animals like an elephant and is eating all plants.
Right. Was there any one thing in particular that, made you decide to do that? Like, what did you feel like you were getting sick or anything like that? Or what was the catalyst to really start you down that road? And more importantly, what kept you there?
So here's the funny thing. I really, aside from what we had talked about, just knowing that these kind of things run in my family, high blood pressure, and always wanting to be as healthy as I could be,
Mhm.
I realized that, and it was funny because that wasn't like something I decided, I'm going to transform my life, I'm going to become vegan. I remember saying to you, you know what, I'm going to try this for a week. I'm going to go ahead and try to do all salads for a week. I already ate once a day. I was already really into intermittent fasting because I love like
Mhm.
the energy. But what I would eat at night would be this big bowl of either Chipotle or an Outback steak or whatever. We
Right.
decide to cook some barbecue chicken, like what, and lots of carbs, and just I was eating a lot of meat, dairy products, and just really filling up. So I wasn't really losing weight, even though I never ate throughout the day. So I
Mhm.
remember doing the salad. I said 7 days. So all of a sudden, on like day number 6, I was like, wow, I feel really good. I would think I could continue to do this. I think I can do this for 30 days. And of course, in the beginning, just eating all raw, like that was to the extreme. But I had read
Mhm.
so much about how like the raw foods gave you energy, and so I said, I'm going to try to do it for 30 days. So, basically what ended up happening, and this is where it kind of started, why I never stopped. I remember it was like April, late April, uh, or early April when I started. So a month was coming up on May 5th. So since I was a little girl in school with my box of tissues and my Dimetap or whatever I was, drinking at the time, I had allergies. So, like, really, I would even almost to the point where I'd get sick at least once or twice during that time from like May to June when
Yeah.
the I don't know if it's pollen or what it was. I never had it like medically diagnosed, but I know later in life I was like always having to take Claritin, like even when you and I met, because this
Yeah. I
only happened
remember.
a couple of years ago. Like, so I would just always, I'd wake up itchy, watery
I
eyes. If
remember
the
you were drinking Robitussin like water at one point.
Yes, definitely. It was like 'cause it was, like,
Remember all those
starting
bottles of Robitussin?
I was starting to get congested also in the winter, like, aside
Yeah.
from the allergies, I was starting to get these weird bronchial issues in the winter, and it was just all, like,
You know what I keep thinking as you're saying that? Thank God you got that fixed before COVID.
exactly, because that could have, I think
It could
what
have killed you.
I think that the fact that that was progressively, like, that was over the last only like since 2017. I would always get maybe one cold, but I had never been sick that much other than the allergies and maybe one cold, one flu a year.
Right.
I wasn't like a sickly kind of person, but it was getting to a point where it was like going weeks at a time, and then like I couldn't get rid of it. I would cough and this cough, and so anyway, the reason, like what I was saying is
I
I
remember
didn't
the
have
coughing.
any allergies. Like my allergies never showed up. And I remember saying to you, Dawn, do you notice I haven't sniffled? My eyes feel just fine. And it was like a windy day where you could see the stuff kind of blowing around, those little the little cotton ball looking things that fly
Yep.
off the trees. And I'm like, I don't feel like my eyes are, I don't feel my allergies like for the first time in like 40 years. Like, what is going on?
Right, right, right.
Maybe not 40 because I don't remember when I was 2, or, I didn't remember when I was a baby, but since I'd never had experienced this. And you can even ask, like, my mom, she would send, like, the little memes with the toilet paper thing that it was like I don't know, it was like a nose with a roll of toilet paper on it, like, "You need this," like, just little jokes over time because I was always had allergies, and they never showed up. So May goes by, June goes by, July goes by, nothing. No allergies this year. And then so that was the first thing that kind of, not to mention the amount of energy I had. I just felt like a lot better. And I also started losing weight, which was amazing because I was like, okay, that's like, that was the main reason I kind of started this, because I was going way up higher than I'd ever been
Right.
before. And so I'm like, okay, I was like 175. I was feeling kind of like these colds that wouldn't go away. And I'm like, just needed to do something to feel healthy. But I'm getting all these bonus things out of it. So first it was the allergies. Then winter comes, and I think it was like, October goes by, November, it's cold. I'm out at the time we were delivering and stuff at the time. I'm out in the cold. I'm, rain, whatever. We're out and about, and I never would get a sniffle, never got sick. The whole winter went by. And then the other weird thing is I never had any more. We used to have to keep like a pack of Tums or whatever if we would have like pizza too late or something like that. I would get heartburn. Have not had heartburn since, have not been sick in 3 years, have not been,
That
having
is
any
so
allergies.
amazing. And I've watched all of this happen, guys. This is crazy. This is absolutely true, all of it. And I've watched in amazement as she's gone through back pain and these
That's the
allergies.
thing, the back pain, right? So
Yeah.
I would have these like, it was like, I think started when I was in college. I would have to, like, if I was studying or whatever, I'd have to like lay flat on my back and crack my back, and if
You
I
want to
sat up
tell
too
people the
long.
story of what happened with your back?
Oh yeah. Well, I was into basketball and I wanted to be Michael Jordan. So when I was about 16, I decided that I would set up a trash can and jump. and try to dunk the ball off of the trash can, and I was trying to hang on the rim. Well, I didn't realize that I couldn't hold my own body weight up. So as I tried to like hang onto the rim, I think the ball did
Woo!
go in. But I
And
my
those rims
slipped off.
regulation are like 10 feet, I think.
Yeah, I kind of landed sort of on my left arm, but kind of on my back. And I was lucky that I didn't do anything else, but I broke my arm and that was it. But I think it kind of did something weird to my back at that point. Later on, I had went to the doctor one time after we were together when it was getting really bad, where I had to have like you like kind of pull on my back, and
Yeah,
I
I
had to ride
remember.
the exercise bike every morning, not even necessarily for exercise, but to stretch out. Like if I would lay still for too long or after sleeping all night, it would just get like really, it would feel like something was pinching, and like loosening it up would help. So
Yeah,
then all of a sudden I'm starting to notice I'm like, this is strange. I don't know if it was from losing weight or what happened, but I'm not feeling the back pain that I've felt all the time. So all of a sudden I'm like, um, full force on this. I lost like 50 pounds in like 6 months, which ended up all of a sudden I felt like I had lost too much weight. So I wanted to kind of like add some cooked foods and some carbs back on. So I started eating some sofritas from Chipotle, and
you
I
look
kind of
fantastic.
ate some rice, and because I was like, okay, I don't want to
Yeah,
keep
remember
going down.
your mom and Kenny, they were like, you need to eat something.
Yeah, if you they were trying to throw food, like you're all right. Like
She was
everybody
small,
thought
y'all. She was a buck 05.
something was wrong with me. I'm
But
like,
see,
no, I feel great.
I knew I wasn't worried because I had seen what you were doing. I saw the fasting and just eating salads. So anybody who had any questions, like, what the hell's going on with Jen? Either she's sick or she's doing some kind of drug or something. I'm like, look, first of all,
She's hooked on
we
the
don't live that
broccoli, man.
right. We don't live that kind of lifestyle. Second of all, I've watched her. She has been not eating for any of the day, and then she just eats salad at night. So yeah, it makes perfect sense why she lost all that weight and why it's staying off.
And like I had never been to a point in my life where I'm like, I think I want to eat some more carbs and some more food to
Yeah,
like make me, and it was kind of, that was the fun part, because then I got to like explore all these like different vegan foods. I was saying, I started eating like they it was like vegan meatballs and spaghetti was one of the things, that I had. And I started eating like brown rice and cereals, just different peanut butter and jelly. I got a little bit hooked on that for a minute. Speaking of addictions, um, but I didn't really eat a whole lot of processed food at first. But over time, I do have some from here and there, because it's like sometimes you want something a little bit different, and they have everything. And that's one of the things I'll talk about in a little while, is if you're like afraid of like what comfort foods you're gonna miss, they have things that you can either prepare yourself, or they actually sell a lot of products now that imitate the stuff that you already eat. Like if you're already like, I always say I was a meat eater for 42 years. I was just telling a lady at work the other day, who she said I have to have meat on my plate or I don't feel like I'm full. I
right,
said, that's okay, because like I was the same way, but you actually, your body will conform if you get the right amount of nutrients. And I think that's what people end up doing. They try to like do these limited diets that they can only have the size of a pea, a portion of, some corn or whatever. Like this.
right, right.
With being plant based, you can eat as much as you want. I eat as many carbs as I want, and I think the last time I weighed, I was like 117, 118, maybe at 120, I think was the highest I've been. So it's not only like made me lose 50 pounds, but for the first time ever, I've kept it off. Because you know how Facebook memories pop up? You can see
Yeah,
like sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Over
yep,
the last 3 years, I have been pretty much at the same exact weight. So then it just, with the health stuff, it got even deeper, because I was looking into it, and I'm like seeing a lot of people said that like dairy causes mucus, and because the dairy, getting off of that is actually what makes your allergies go away. And a lot of people said they cured asthma and a lot of other things like eczema, even skin conditions. So I'm like, okay, wait, this is wild. Like there's this whole world of information out here that we don't know about, and I found out that's because we're not actually baby cows. That's why we're rejecting milk and dairy. But that's a whole nother story. But luckily, the cool thing about it is now this was a lot different than people that probably have been vegan for 20 years. Before, there wasn't a lot of products. Now, like you can go to the store and you can get almond milk, cashew milk, soy milk. They even have pea protein milk, which sounds a little weird, but it actually, I've heard it's good. And made of actual peas, and like it's amazing, but it tastes good, and you can use it in your recipes. You can use it to drink in your cereal. You can drink a glass of it. Like to me, the vanilla almond milk tastes better than milk ever did. I wasn't like a huge just drinking glasses of milk person,
Mhm.
but I used it in a lot of stuff. They have vegan like butter if you need it for cooking, or if you have a baked
I
potato.
love I love the Beyond Burgers.
And Beyond Burgers, if you need to have something to transition, like if you're having a cookout, or you're wanting to, you have non-vegan friends, or you just like the taste of the meat but you don't want the health effects and you want to splurge on that, they've got Beyond Meat is probably the closest thing I've found to from the traditional meat and of all the burgers. Gardein makes so many amazing products. Like they make these ultimate plant-based nuggets. Um, you
I love
know,
those nuggets. Those nuggets are really good.
and that's like, the same thing as with anything else. You want to try to keep it to whole foods as much as possible, like, rice, potatoes, vegetables. And there are so many recipes out there. I haven't even delved into that yet. General Tso's tofu, if you go out to eat Chinese food, is amazing. It tastes, if you eat General Tso's chicken, it's similar to that. It has the same, like, if you have it made like properly, it has the same texture. It's really,
Mhm.
really
Mhm.
good. Like, I mean, when you put the right stuff in your body, I found it's amazing what it can do for you. And there are so many people that are on all these medications, and it's like it's been proven that getting rid of meat will not only prevent, but it will reverse disease. Like I have heard stories and testimonials of people who, and we heard it on my last two shows on Amazing Plantz4Mationz.
Mhm.
Mr. Rick McKeon was on, and he
Yep.
reversed bone marrow cancer. He went on a plant based diet, and like within 30 days, you start to see improvement. You can lower your cholesterol. He also stopped his arthritis,
Right.
neuropathy. People have restored their vision.
Mark
Um,
Samuel with the MS.
Mark, exactly. He, completely reversed his symptoms of MS, and he's not the first story I've heard. I heard of there's a doctor, I'll try to find the link, who tells her story, and that's why she started like a natural healing type hospital or clinic. And there's so many, other things. I mean, Rick had a list of things that he healed, not only kidney, I think, disease, and just so much, and high blood pressure, like cholesterol. People with cholesterol are amazed when they go plant based how their cholesterol just drops, like not even within 30 days. It's amazing because only the meat has the cholesterol in it, and
Yeah.
you'll find that here's the other big thing that is the number one kind of thing that plagues people, and thing that has their life in an uproar, and also it can be something that can kill you, is like type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Now type 1 is not something that you can completely reverse, but you can improve the symptoms of it. And type 2, you can completely reverse by going plant based. And there's this reason behind it, and I'll try to find the link as well. There was an episode of the Doctor's Show that had these two guys on there that have wrote a book called Mastering Diabetes, and
Mhm.
they talk about insulin resistance. Like everybody thinks it's carbs and sugar. There's also a lot of information from Dr. Barnard on this. Carbs and sugar are what, makes your blood sugar high and causes diabetes. But he explains it like your sugar is supposed to go somewhere. And what happens when you eat meat and dairy, it clogs up where the actual sugar is supposed to go. So because it can't get in there when you do eat sugar, let's say you eat a baked potato, or let's say you have something that, like a glass of orange juice or something with sugar in it, it can't get to where it's supposed to go because it blocks up where it's supposed to go, and it backs up into the bloodstream, and that
Mhm.
causes your sugar to get high. So what people do is they stop eating carbs, they take a medication so they can eat the same amounts of food that they did, so that that will lower the blood sugar in their blood. But what he makes it out, and the way he says, you're not unclogging the drain. So when they put these people on a plant-based diet for 30 to 60 days and they eat the right food, all of a sudden they don't have the insulin resistance. That's the
Mhm.
actual name for it. It's resisting, like it's not letting it get where it should. So like by clearing your body out of meat and dairy, you are actually like clearing clearing the drain basically, so your sugars can get where they're supposed to, and you don't have to take the medication anymore, and you don't have to not eat some rice if you want it. Like you can go back to eating carbs, but you don't have to be afraid of carbs. That's like a big misconception. You need them, to be able to have energy. So I think there's just a lot of false information, and from delving into it, a lot of it, like milk does a body good. That's Dr. Milton Mills. We did a show on your J&J video about that. Remember that he says milk does a body good is marketing, it's not science. And
Yeah.
there's just so much money in the dairy industry and farms and
Speaking of
um,
shows, you have your show on your YouTube channel called JJ Vegan Knowledge, which I think you should change the name of your channel to Amazing Plantz4Mationz. I really do, because your show Amazing Plantz4Mationz, where you had Rick on, where you had Mark on, and your journey. I mean, I'm telling you, that is something that people love hearing about, that are going through. And nowadays, Jen, who's not going through health issues? It's an epidemic. Everybody is sick in some way, shape, or form, and the people that are getting well and staying well are those people that are going plant-based and staying that way.
I agree, and I think that yeah, like that's why we did Amazing Plants Formation. It's like a transformation based on plants, and I think
You
that's
got to
what
check her
happens.
show out, guys. And if you're somebody who's looking to become vegan, you got to check that show out, because she has people in there all the time that talk about their journeys, about how they went plant-based, and it's really saved them from terminal illnesses.
And if you're looking to, like I said this before, if there was a pill that could cure just about every chronic illness and everything you're dealing with from allergies to cancer, you would that pill would sell out. But the reason this doesn't, I don't know why. I think it's because the information isn't out there. So I remember getting so excited, Dawn. I remember making the Vegan Knowledge Facebook page and the group, and like just wanting to tell everybody this story. And that's why I appreciate you putting me on here, because I know you have a good following on your channel, and so that we can reach more people, because like I feel it does a disservice to the world to not have this information mainstream. I understand you want to put all your pharmaceutical commercials out, and I understand there's money involved, but you have to be able to present this side of the story and tell people the truth about this. It saddens me that it's hidden. You can do whatever you want, you can eat how you want, but I feel like this side of it is never presented anywhere in the you never see a commercial saying, "Did you know a plant-based diet can heal this, and this, or at least
Right.
help reverse it?" Like,
Right.
and if you're somebody who has a story to tell, Amazing Plants Formations, we would love to have you come on and tell your story and get it out there to the
Definitely.
people. I think that
Definitely.
there's a website I'm on. Also, we'll post the link in the description to the and this is going to go on J&J Video, and it'll go on Vegan Knowledge JJ uh,
Yeah, like
YouTube.
right now we're on party over here because I love listening to good stories, about transformations like this, or transformations, if you will. And, I love listening to anything that will uplift, So I definitely appreciate you speaking to us and blessing our ears with your vegan knowledge.
Not a problem. I think that
This show
also,
is also appearing on JJ's channel as well, JJ Vegan Knowledge, and the link to her channel will be in the description of this video.
and we'll also post the link to the Facebook group, because I think one of the things that doesn't allow people to do this, or that might hold you back, is you don't know how to get from point A to point B. So I
Yeah,
have like a free on there. Obviously it's free, it's on Facebook, but like a grocery list that you can check out that'll help you to get started with some things that we've found, and all the ingredients I put in the salad that we have, or that I started with, and then all the stuff that I've added on. Just like it'll be enough for you to buy for a week worth of trying to go plant based if you want to try it a week. I mean, I started one day, then a week, then third. Now it's been April 5th of 2019. I'm coming up on 3 years, of
yeah.
being of
So proud
doing
of
it.
you.
And it's been amazing. And I the other website I wanted to tell you was vegancouragement.com. I have my story listed on there, and at the bottom you can have that has my we'll post that, and that's a good site as well, that our friend Deb has. Not only does she have like 13 stories of different vegans on there, but each of them, they have the link to their channels. You can find resources on there, like different documentaries you can watch, different shows that kind of explain to you more about what I'm talking about. If you just need to know how, good podcasts and links and apps that you can even put on your phone. But on the bottom
Nice.
of that, it'll have, we'll also post this on there, my email, if you want to reach out to get the grocery list. If you don't have Facebook, it will have, I also have a group, or a Patreon page set up, where you can like join and become a supporter. It's patreon.com/vegan knowledge JJ, and it'll post all of the shows on there, the Amazing Plantz4Mationz, and you can join to be like a monthly supporter, which I have. What else is on there? Instagram, Twitter, all of that. So, and the Facebook group is probably the most interactive, and that's where we also post all of the Amazing Plantz4Mationz episodes. And if you check this out, or any of the Amazing Plantz4Mationz, don't forget to like share it, because you never know who could be like sitting there down on themselves, or feeling like there's no way out of the chronic situation they're in, and to know that at least you've put it out there that there's a way that they can heal, that you can change somebody's life. To me, it's why I kind of am so
Why
excited
you
to
do this,
share.
right?
Yes, absolutely. And,
Well, awesome.
don't be afraid to talk about your journey too. You have been amazing. I think she saw the me actually you started it with your information about moringa and all the stuff you were learning, and I was watching it because you were watching it, and then I just took it and ran with it. And you haven't had any meat in how long now? Couple of
I
years, right?
haven't had any meat in probably what, about a year and a half now.
At least, maybe two. I mean, it's been a while, so I'm really proud of you and journey too. Of
Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that.
You have so many interesting stories, though. I'm going to interview you next. You need a whole show just to interview you. We could go on for a while. But I guess one of the things that the last thing I was gonna say is that the where it says the vegan journey, it really is a journey because although I started for health reasons,
Hmm.
when started learning more and more about, I mean, like even if you're not doing it for health reasons, there's such a um, and like I don't know how to say this, but I learned so much about the meat industry that I wouldn't want to know, or if I was eating meat, I would want to know. Not only is it a lot of animal abuse and things going on, it's a lot of disease that is transferred through meat, also. Um,
Right.
it's a lot of, if you're truly like I am an animal lover, just, look into it. Obviously, what we don't know, we can't do anything about. But if you know, definitely kind of look into that. I'm not coming from that perspective because I'm not here to make anyone feel bad for what they eat, because I ate the same thing for 42 years. But after I looked into it and what it does to the environment, I realized, well, what's wrong with eating milk or eggs every now and then? And then I realized that the baby cows are being taken away from the mothers, and we're like impregnating them and over milking them. It's just the whole industry, from whether it's a chicken or a cow, they're all animals, I realized. And that didn't happen for me until like almost maybe like 9 months to a year into being vegan, because after you're delve into part of the information, you just happen to find other information, especially the way social media is now. Like you go to one story and then it's like you might be interested in this, and you go to another one, and there's a link, Gary Yourofsky. He has
Yep.
a really good speech. If you can watch it, it says, I can't remember right offhand, something like either the most important speech you'll ever hear,
I
something
think that is it.
to that effect, and it's really good. Again, if you're doing, like, if you are interested in what the health is a major one, but I think one of the most important things we can do is just tell our story, and people can make their own decisions from there. But just know that if you're struggling and you have health issues, that there is another way that you can do it, and we can help you to get there for sure. Just reach out and come on the page, look at some different things. I know someone just now shared their entire Thanksgiving, what they're going to have for their vegan Thanksgiving. Um, there's just there's just so many things. I know it's hard to change because you'll have, like we were talking about, summertime. You want to have burgers if you've always had them, but there's alternatives that you can use. And once your body gets used to those veggies and those that nutrients coming in, and you get the energy and you start healing, you'll start gaining momentum. And you know what your book got me thinking today that you listened to, Dawn?
What?
It got me thinking something that she said, like, don't put things off. Like, don't
Yeah.
wait. Like, if you feel like this is something you want to do, and you want to try, don't say I'm going to do it tomorrow or Monday, or set a date for it. um, you know, just go out, and or I'll start when 4th of July, or I'll start summer. You know what I mean? Don't do it. Just go out to the store right now and try a couple of things. And when you
Absolutely.
go
Start
to a
right where you
restaurant,
are.
try the General Tso's tofu if you're going out for Chinese tonight, instead of the try to do a pot of vegetables and some rice, and start trying to fill up. There's so much, you won't be hungry, trust me, and you'll probably be able to eat more than you ever have, and be healthier than you ever have.
Well, that is amazing, honey. I'm so glad that you came on here and told your story and and got to share all of this good knowledge with people because we need it. We need more of you out here uh telling us the way, and helping us do what we need to do to get where we need to be. Anything else you want to add?
I just want
before
to
we go?
say thank you so much, and thank you everybody for tuning in. And I'm so happy this is going to play on both of our channels so we can reach as many people as possible. And I think there's probably 100 more things I could talk about, but that's all. We'll just share the rest in the links.
And this is not the last time that we're going to do this. So, yeah, that's absolutely amazing. So, cool beans. Guys, don't forget the link to both our channels will be in there, and all of the links that Jen mentioned on here today are going to be included in the description of the video. Hit her Patreon up, hit my Cash App up. We love donations because that keeps things going. And please, please, please make sure you put a like and a subscribe if you have not subscribed to either one of our channels yet. Please subscribe if you're feeling the vibe, and share if you care on all forms of social media. And I think with that, go ahead,
Thank
Jen.
you. I just want to say thank you for putting this information out there and all the amazing information you share. We appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you too. You guys have an awesome rest of your day, and we will catch you Monday.
Welcome to the Midday Meltdown Party Over Here. You've been listening to the Midday Meltdown Party Over Here with J&J Video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're feeling the vibe, and please share if you care on all forms of social media. You can support the content on this channel by donating to the Cash App link that's been provided in the description of this video. Thanks again for listening. Peace and blessings.